You ever see one of those massive billion-dollar projects and just wonder, how do they even pull that off? And more often, why do so many of them go way over budget and fall hopelessly behind schedule? Well, the answer might not be what you think. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a discipline that is absolutely critical but often invisible: interface management.
So what is it? What's the thing that really trips up these huge undertakings? Is it some fatal flaw in the engineering? A massive miscalculation in the budget? Nope. The real danger? It isn't in what each individual team is doing, it's in the gaps between them. That's the messy space where projects tend to fall apart.
To really get our heads around this, we're going to build a kind of pyramid of understanding, starting from the ground up. First, we'll lay the foundation by looking at the core challenge. Then we'll decode what project interfaces actually are. After that, we'll meet the key people involved, uncover the skills they absolutely need to have, and finally, we'll get to the top, building a culture where all of this just works. Sound good? Let's get started.
Okay, first up, the base of our pyramid, the fundamental problem. The massive size and complexity of these mega projects creates this explosion of connection points, or what we call interfaces. And every single one of those points is a potential risk, a place where things can go wrong if they aren't managed with absolute precision.
And this right here, this gets to the very heart of it. It's not enough for every team to be brilliant and crush their own part of the job in isolation. You have to manage the handoffs. Without a rock-solid system for how information and materials get from Team A to Team B, you're basically signing up for delays, confusion, and a ton of expensive rework.
So what in the world are we even talking about when we use this word interface? Let's break it down and build that next layer of our pyramid.
You know, an interface is really just any point where different teams, contractors, or systems have to connect and exchange something. It could be a physical thing, like a pipe from one company needing to perfectly connect to a valve from another. We call that a hard interface. Or it could be a soft interface, like a crucial design file being transferred from the architect to the structural engineer. Both are equally important, and both can be disastrous if they're mismanaged.
So how do you prevent the chaos? Well, this is the secret sauce. Instead of relying on a messy trail of emails, phone calls, and frankly assumptions, you use a formal 4-step process. It's all built around one simple document, the interface agreement. And listen, this isn't just more paperwork. It's like a mini contract. It forces everyone to agree on the specifics, the what, the when, the how, before any real work begins. This is how you stamp out ambiguity.
All right, so we've covered the what and the why. Now it's time to talk about the who, because a process, no matter how great, is only as good as the people who run it. So who are the stars of this show?
You can think about it like this. The interface manager is the architect. They're designing the whole system from a 30,000-foot view. The interface coordinator, on the other hand, is the person on the ground, the boots-on-the-ground problem solver. They're the ones making sure every connection actually happens smoothly. One is the strategist, the other is the tactician. And you absolutely, positively need both.
And this little chart right here is how you kill the blame game for good. It's called a RACI matrix, and it's so powerful because it's so simple. For every single interface point, it makes it crystal clear who is responsible for doing the work, who is ultimately accountable, who needs to be consulted, and who just needs to be kept informed. No more, "Oh, I thought you were doing that." It's all right there in black and white. Just pure, simple accountability.
Okay, so we've got the process and we've got the people. Now it's time to climb higher up our pyramid and talk about the how. What skills do these people need to actually make this work? These are the 6 core competencies that really separate the successful projects from the ones that fail.
Now, just take a second and look at this list. You might be surprised. It's not all about technical expertise and project management certifications, is it? A lot of this is what some people call soft skills. But let me tell you, in the high-stakes world of mega projects, being able to influence people and manage relationships is every bit as critical as being able to read a technical drawing.
Let's just zoom in on influencing for a second, because this one is huge. Your interface manager or coordinator, they usually don't have direct authority over all the different teams they need to work with. They can't just bark orders. They have to persuade, to negotiate, to get buy-in and build a consensus, to get everyone moving in the same direction. It's a real art.
And communication, it's so much more than just sending emails. We're talking about making sure that every single person truly understands their piece of the puzzle and feels a sense of ownership over it. When the stakes are this high, there is literally zero room for misunderstanding. Clarity is everything.
All right, we've reached the peak of our pyramid.
We've got the right process, the right people, and the right skills. But to get real, long-term success, interface management has to become part of your organization's DNA. It has to become part of the culture. And that is a journey.
Yeah, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. Most organizations start at stage 0, which is basically the Wild West. It's total chaos, everyone for themselves. But then you slowly start to climb. You define your processes, you start actively managing them, and eventually you get to stage 4, where this stuff is just how you do business. It's second nature.
And that's the end game, right? The ultimate goal is to make great interface management a reflex, not a chore. It should be as automatic as breathing. When your organization gets to that point, you've basically unlocked a project management superpower. It gives you a massive, massive advantage.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. Think about the biggest, most complex project you're involved with right now. You know there are hundreds, maybe thousands of those connection points, those places where one team's work has to perfectly align with another's. My question is, who's managing them? If you can't point to a specific person or team, then you might have a very big, very expensive problem waiting to happen.